chili pepper powder surprise. The enormous leaves tickled Teresa's outstretched palm, and she smelled a quick whiff of apple juice in a hoarse breath before the apple sheet had vanished with a gulp. He's a real thoroughbred, thoroughbred, Adrian crowd. The first one we've had, so I'm really excited. Teresa was even more excited, coming to her cousin Adrian farm in Tennessee from Chicago, and she'd never seen a regular horse, much less thoroughbred. It was beautiful. Its coat shimmered, glossy and smooth in the dark stable, and it snorted hoarsely, breathed through its big nostrils, and tossed its name when it heard the voice. Want to see him walk around? Or are we supposed to let him out? Trisha stammered. Trisha understood how Adrian's father, her uncle, prized his new thoroughbred. After she heard the bragging about it over dinner the first night here. Sure, I walk around in stables all the time, Adrian answered. He had already unlatched the horse stall and was leading the horse by the strap around its long muzzle. We call him Pepper for short, because his full name is Chili Pepper Powder Surprise. His shadow's right over here. You wanna see how it looks on him? Hold his reins. Before Tricia could protest, Adrian handed her the leather straps and went to retrieve the shadow from where it hung along the gym stable wall. Teresa froze, feeling like she was tethered, tethered, tethered to the back of the end of a race car. Pepper kept dogging, dog, dodging his ram away from Adrian as he attempted to lower Shadow on the horse's back. Finally, the horse submitted and stood under the lumpy shadow like a beautiful princess forced to wear an ugly parka. "Go ahead, get on," Adrian said with a grin. "No way," said Trissa. Andrea had been daring her to do such things all week, like jumping fence into the half panel seat in the dust tractor. She'd always held back while he teased her, and suddenly she decided she was sick of it. "Well, if you're sure about that, won't get mad," she said. "Not if he doesn't know about it." Andrea snickered. He explained how Trisha to Tricia how to put one foot in the dangling stirrup and to swing the other over Pepper's back. She eased her weight in the stirrup. Pepper sidestepped away as he had from the saddle, and she had to hop on one leg to keep with. Finally, she swung her leg over and landed hard in the saddle, saddle. Before she would figure out what is going on, Teresa flew out the open door and stable into the blind sunlight. She hadn't gotten hold in reins. She nearly flipped over backward, only clinging to the shadow. In the last second, we were tangled in the stirrup, and her hair was flying in the face so she couldn't see where it's going, and she was going terribly fast. She screamed and fell. Pepper's body gave started a startled jump underneath her. She'd never imagined a galloping horse would be so terrifyingly rough. It always looked smooth and easy in the movies, but it was more like it's more like riding a roller coaster with no straps. Pepper ran straight across the corral towards the fence. Trissa shrieked again. Shari would jump it, but she started around the corral instead. Oh, corral, corral instead. Running and running and running, she managed to see back and bury her enemy, but it seemed to bother or hurt him. He tossed his head, hitting her chin with the back of his neck and throwing her arms of him. If she fell or jumped, she'd be dragged by her foot, or she'd crack her head on the ground, or worse. Finally, she managed to lie down and cling to the Pepper's back while she slowed an uneven trot, then a walk, then an uneasy standstill. "What do you think what do you think you're doing?" "What do you think you're doing?" She heard her uncle holler as ran from the house toward the corral. Pepper jerked and stabbed as the shouting man approached. "Please," she whimpered, "please don't startle him, Teresa." Trisha's uncle leaped easily over the fence and walked toward the nervous horse, running the whistling comments she'd never heard before. He gingerly took the reins and held them tightly, offering his other hand to help Tricia down and brush the dust from her face when she finally touched the ground again. Then she held her chin, lifting her face until it saw into her eyes. "Please don't be mad," Trista pleaded. "We didn't mean to do anything wrong." Trisha, I don't want you to think about everything that went through your head at the moment before you go on the horse. Now, are you going to look into my eye and tell me it never occurred to you that you were doing something wrong?" "No, sir," Tricia said, dropping her head. "Remember that the next time you're about doing something you're not allowed to do. I'm pretty sure you didn't take out that horse and saddle him up all by yourself, especially when you saw Adrian run up behind in the barn. You skip right under the fence and go back in the house while I fetch him." Tricia did as she was told, sleep, slipping through the fence starting toward the house, while the uncle ran after his son. But before she went inside, she looked at the pepper. She grasped calmly. As she watched, he looked up at her. "Sir Chili Pepper Potter's surprise," she said, and the horse tossed his mane, as if he understood.